David, what are some things that you've learned, buddy, that we can share with others?
One, treating, I don't know, and I don't know why this is the trend, but like treating this like a business, and you're building a business. I think a lot of people come in, just look at it as sales, just look at it as either a part-time thing or something they're just hopping in and want the world handed to them or something like that. But you're building a business here, like, and everything that goes into normally building a business and entrepreneurship is a part of building an insurance business, especially if you're going to build an agency.
Welcome back to the channel. Super excited for today's interview. A couple of my new favorite people in the world. We've been watching each other from a distance for years. We've really started hanging out and diving in and like doing business together and learning from one another over these last several months. Welcome to the YouTube channel, David and Elle Denning. What's up, Dennings?
Thanks, Cody. Super excited to be here, hanging out with you.
Hey, Cody, we're really excited to be here. Just hanging out here in Cape Coral, Florida.
I love it. Yes. So it's a little nicer than Springfield, Missouri,
Yeah, it's a little hot right now still in September, but it'll be cooling off here soon.
Yeah, I will say your barbecue's better. So
yeah,
there you go. Okay, I could see that. I'm not far from KC, Missouri, or Memphis, Tennessee. I could agree with that. Well, for those who don't know David and Elle, they've built multiple companies doing some amazing stuff. They built a gigantic Facebook group called it's called Marketing for Insurance Agents, and run a company called Jumpstart Go. For those that do not know the two of you, and also they're world travelers, like when it comes to like running business and staffing and marketing, like they're really just aficionados in all areas of their life. Geniuses at some really core stuff though that we'll probably get into today. Elle, since we jumped to David first, why don't we jump to you this time? I feel like I need to do that. I feel like I'm running a radio show, talk show with like more people on than one, right? Why don't you give a little background on the two of you, and at any point whenever you want to throw to David, you can, and y'all can kind of share more about you and your story and who you are.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Cody, for having us on. We, like you said, we've been following you for a long time. We're super excited to be here. And yeah, so a little bit about David and I. We have been running what we call a location independent business since 2015. So prior to that, David and I lived in South Africa for 2 years while David was working in corporate, and we caught the travel bug to live internationally and really wanted to find a way where we could work from anywhere and have a travel-based lifestyle. So in 2015, we started a business in marketing, doing web design work, graphics, videos for businesses that were just starting out. So like bootstrap, startup businesses, all kinds of different businesses, local service-based businesses, realtors, hair salons, you name it, we did it. And then we traveled the world while doing that. So we would spend about 4 months outside of the country, primarily in Southeast Asia, running our business, which was a huge, in our eyes, success. And it was kind of like glorified like freelancing work, though. We didn't really have a team at that point. We were pretty lean. And then in 2018, we actually partnered with our third business partner here. His name is Rene Cabrera, and he introduced us to the insurance space. And we founded Jumpstart Go with him at that point. And I'll pass it over to David to talk a little bit about the origin story of Jumpstart Go.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I think like most people, except for maybe Cody, that had some experience in and around the insurance industry prior. For us, really, most people have, what's the insurance industry? What is that really like? You think of, the suits and ties knocking doors, and maybe not the life of the party most of the time when you think of the insurance industry. And so like from our perspective of traveling, kind of digital nomaded, technology forward, a lot of stuff, we're like, what is this industry? What does this really have there? And from our partner's background's perspective, he was doing a lot of marketing for probably about a couple hundred agencies at that point. and it's like, there's just a big need in this industry, especially on modern marketing processes, a lot of different stuff. I think there's a big opportunity there, as that's areas that you guys know really well. So we ended up starting the Marketing for Insurance Facebook group, initially of just getting to know the agents, what they're dealing with, what we can help them with, everything there, as well as a place for them to collaborate, ask questions, discussions. We just really want to create a positive atmosphere. I feel like there's a lot of drama, negativity out there, and that's what we really wanted to avoid, and put together a really positive community, really for all lines, captives, independents, everything to come together. And so that's where we created the Facebook group, and it just really just grew from there, like astronomically. And so
how many members now? It's grown a ton. How many?
It's over 28,000.
Wow.
Grown at like 800 to 1,000 new agents in there a month. We grew it to probably about 15,000 or so, just organically, just people coming and finding the group, referring the group to others, everything. And then we started running some ads to the group, just to the free Facebook group, for people to come in and join, as we just really wanted even more quality people keep on coming in there and just make the group better and better. So
yes.
Yeah, it's kind of how we originally got started there. And then as we grew the group, we just would do different master classes. We do weekly webinars and Facebook Lives, probably done like 500 Facebook Lives at this point. And it's fun. I love it. And we just really have a heart for serving agents, helping them. We're licensed ourselves. We'll talk about some other stuff, but for us, we've got a big vision, and we love helping them succeed, just like I know that you have a heart for as well. So
yeah, this is a side note, and this was not staged or planned. For those that are going to watch this later, you're going to be like, they totally staged this. I literally just had someone, I'll open it later. They'll have to go to my Instagram story to see what's in it, but I literally just got this while we're in the middle of interviewing. And what's funny is David and Elle are like, hey, you may get something tomorrow. Well, minutes later, the team is bringing it in through this other door to my office.
Oh my gosh.
And I got this huge box from Elle and David down in Cape Coral, Florida, which we're interviewing literally right now. And then a massive box just arrives and drops in my office as we're interviewing. How about that for timing? Like I've interviewed a lot of people. They can't ever get a box delivered at the same time as the interview. How the heck do you pull that off?
We should say that was planned, because that would make us look really good if I hadn't just told you before the interview that it wasn't going to be there until tomorrow. So
how funny is that?
Amy
Shout out
on our
to
team,
delivery service we used. I don't know.
Amy from our team is going to be so thrilled, because this morning she was like, I'm sorry, it's not going to get there until Wednesday. And we're like, oh, it's okay. So she's going to be so happy, and the timing could not have been more perfect.
Okay, cool.
That's for the whole team. But yeah, there's some kind of specifics in there too.
Well, the whole team's like standing right outside my door a second ago. You can't see it. Like I'd have to zoom out a bunch and like turn the webcam and all that. But they're literally they're bringing this box, and they're all sitting at my door. I'm like, I'm in the middle of this interview, and I'm like, what the freak y'all doing? They're like, and then Lauren comes around. She's like, it's from them. I'm like, well, I like set it over here. I got to at least show that it came at the same time. So I will open this. I will make sure I tag y'all. And for those watching, that means you got to follow all three of us on Instagram. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Love it.
Y'all are awesome. Thank you for that. And from the closers click, I like it. I like it. I mean, I could take this so many different directions, right? Like y'all are such cool people. You do such amazing stuff. I think one way I kind of want to take it is there's a lot of people that they're younger like we are, Lauren's a few years older than me, but that are just, I got to throw that in there just to mess with her every once in a while. And it's her birthday today. So why not, right? I'm like 34 today. There's a lot of people that would like to operate and run their own business and do that from anywhere. And y'all have clearly learned a ton about doing that really well. You were even giving me some business advice just a few minutes ago before we jumped on for some ideas, What's that like? How much has that meant to y'all's relationship and just the future of what you're building? And what are some tips that we can share with others that would like to independently operate a business from anywhere?
I would really like both our perspectives on this, because I think we have had through the years very different experiences a little bit through this as well. But for us, that was a goal, like we were talking about with you, Cody, that we initially ran a lifestyle business more so before we ever got into the insurance side, and why the freedom was great, and we love that, and we still very much love the freedom, location independence, and everything. Running it as just a lifestyle business and without having that strong like kind of why are we doing this sort of stuff, it could get lonely, challenging, especially if you're a high performer. It can get boring a little bit and stuff unless you have those strong reasons of what you're shooting for, those goals, whether it is a high amount of production, is whether it's building a team, whether it is, maybe it is just I would like to have the total amount of freedom to spend as much time with my family as possible and build something for that. Like when you have that, that's great. But when we initially were running that, it did get a little lonely, a little almost depressing, because we kind of like, okay, we did it, now what? And we didn't have that strong, like, what are we doing here? And so when we moved into the insurance side, the marketing for insurance group, our programs, it very much was a very strong drive to help. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but our mission is to help 10,000 agents do at least 10,000 plus in commissions a month, which would be a $1.2 billion impact a year. And, you know, we've even talked, Cody, I know when we were hanging out with you last time, of our long-term vision for the companies that we run, which is maybe a crazy goal, but that's our mission behind it all. And so when we're doing that, we can still do locations independent. Like, yeah, we're most of the time Southwest Florida, but we spend time in Mexico City. Now the world's open a little bit back with COVID. We will be traveling, running different things. And that's a very much an audience that we very much want to help. And from our own experiences, those people that want to run this insurance business from wherever. I mean, we have friends in Costa Rica selling life insurance and living in Costa Rica. We have friends in Cancun, Playa del Carmen, selling insurance and then DJing at the nights. And like, this is industry will has so many opportunities for whatever direction you want to go. You want to build a portfolio of amazing companies helping the industry like Cody. You want to do enough production that lets you and your family travel where you want and spend the time with them. You want to build a massive team and make differences in those team members' lives and families' lives. Like, this industry is so amazing, and I'm so glad that we ended up really getting into this industry and seeing what it can all, how powerful it is. But Elle, I mean, I would love to hear your perspectives on that.
Yeah, please.
Travel location as well.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, David and I did live in South Africa for 2 years, and that was a company that moved us. And I'm a little bit different than David, and especially when we were married. We got married when we were 21 years old. So we got married when we were fairly young. And I really thought like we would work our corporate jobs. We would be in one place, which we're originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And that's where we thought, in my mind, that was what our lives looked like after we got married. And David took this job offer and for us to live abroad in South Africa. And I just remember feeling so scared because I'd never lived like that abroad before. But it really opened my eyes of how much I can learn about myself, and being someone that I love like personal development. I love business development. That's something that's very interesting to me, of just how much I learned about myself being out of my comfort zone. And it was something that really forced me for the first time in my life, I was 23 at the time, and being just open and curious to the experience without judgment of myself. And I really realized how much self-development came out of that for myself. And in a way, and I say we like caught the travel bug, but really we caught the like entrepreneur's bug in a way of like this discovery of ourselves and how can we continue to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. And I don't think I really even realized that was a skill that I was developing at that time. And then in 2015, when we moved back from South Africa, we came back to the US, and David, really wanted to get out of corporate. He didn't like the corporate structure. And he was like, I really want us to like own our own business and travel. And I thought, you're crazy. Nobody's working remote at this point in 2015. Nobody that we knew was doing this. This was just like a few podcasts and books that we had read. And I was like, this is a crazy idea.
He is crazy. He's crazy, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I love. Which I love.
I was like, nobody's doing this. Like, our families are going to think that we're crazy. Like, this isn't going to work out. But I was, in my heart, I knew, I was like, okay, if we really set our minds to this, and I still remember we were in an Airbnb in Atlanta because we were transitioning we were still working for the company at the time. And I said, a year from now, we're going to be working on a beach in Thailand. And I just said, that's the goal that we're moving towards. I said, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. And we did it. We did it in a year. David quit corporate. We were able to build the business to replace his like corporate income. I was working full time in the business at that time. And David was doing kind of just like nights and weekends and stuff, but we were able to do it, and really within a year. And so for people that are looking to create this lifestyle, it's just like anything in life. You have to put a point in time and set a deadline to it and commit yourself in your mind that you are going to do it. And I literally saw us on that beach in Thailand a year from now. And there was some other, like, once we did it, it was amazing. We met amazing people. We loved being able to have the opportunity to just travel and experience different places and culture. Again, that feeds something inside of us of like this, it's a new adventure, every new country that we're in. And so we love that feeling. And then when COVID hit, and it really changed things for us, and it really kind of forced us to be at home a lot more. And we really started working on building the business more with team and people, focusing on really growing our revenue for the business at that point, which was a whole nother challenge. So that was a way, I guess, for me to say that for me, it's just a series of personal development and challenges and pushing myself outside of my comfort zone over and over again, which is something that I love as a business owner and an entrepreneur.
Yeah, such a great answer. I mean, y'all are a power couple. You're you're living the American dream. You're living the lifestyle that you want to live, like it's so attractive, by the way, too. Like for people on the outside looking in, it's so attractive what you are doing. People want to live that life that you weren't able to live, that it took some time along the way, but that you're able to live now. Like it's really cool. One of the things I wanted to pivot to when you were talking about that is most people don't realize there's over 1 million new businesses started every year in the US. 80%, at the end of 1 year, after they start 1 million businesses created, 1 year later, 40% are gone. 40% have failed. At the end of year 5, 80% have failed. At the end of 10 years, 80% of the remaining 80% have failed, which means there's only 4% left over at the very end. Y'all been doing this for more than 5 years. You have succeeded. You're a part of that 20% that actually makes it more than 5 years. As you look back, what have you learned as a business owner? And what have you also learned watching agents and agency owners with all the mistakes that we make in the insurance industry, in like a super old industry that's old fashioned, does things very boring and different? What have you learned about agency owners that you've learned that could apply to them and help them? And we'll jump back to, actually, let's jump to Elle first for this one. How about that? Okay. So just stuff that you've learned about business, agency owners, and that y'all have learned that's made you a successful business owner.
It's such a good question. You ask really good questions, Cody. I love
Thanks.
it. So I would say the number one thing for myself, and this is what I find in other people, is it's fear. And that fear holds them back, whether they know it or not, whether I know it or not. And I'm not just saying they as in that I'm not included in that. I am 100% included in that. And I know that taking action is going to be the thing that moves me past that fear. So I think especially over the last couple of years, as we've really just skyrocketed our revenue, really over the last 18 months, it's been the ability to make decisions quickly, and to take action. So instead of saying, I'm going to do something, or, oh, that's a really great idea, it's actually putting a plan in place and executing the plan. So Cody, we were in Springfield with you a couple of weeks ago at your business boot camp, which was phenomenal. We learned so much with you at that boot camp. I highly recommend it to anybody that's really looking to grow their agency, grow their business, and put those business fundamentals in place. But one of the things that I really identified, we needed a director of operations. So as soon as we got back from that business boot camp, we started looking for somebody. It was a need, and we started taking action, and we hired a director of operations yesterday. So it took us a week and a half. But that's something that and there's fear there. There's absolutely fear about there. Can the business sustain it? We have a bunch of travel coming up. It's not the ideal time to onboard somebody or add a new team member. There's so many reasons why not, but looking at the reasons why we should, and seeing the path forward, and having that belief in knowing that we're making the right decisions. And even if the decision doesn't work out, even if it ends up being a bad decision, there's still a lesson to be learned there. But I would much rather take the action, learn the lesson, but much more likely our business is going to continue to grow as the result of that hire. So that's my number one piece of advice, is don't let fear keep you stuck, and do whatever you need to do to recognize the feeling of fear and set a process in place to work through the fear so that you can take the action. Because the longer that you stay in action, the more feeling of anxiety and stuckness you will have.
So good. Such an amazing answer. And thank you for sharing some of the feedback from the business bootcamp. That's really cool to hear.
Loved it.
Well, awesome answer. I'm glad you loved it. I appreciate you sharing that. David, what are some things that you've learned, buddy, that we can share with others?
I definitely agree with Elle, and also that progress over perfection. She was like talking about there'll never be a perfect time to hire, a perfect time to hop on the phone and sell someone, the perfect time to start your insurance agency, and you got to take that progress. But if the two ones that I want to mention that kind of go together is, one, treating, I don't know, and I don't know why this is the trend, but like treating this like a business, and you're building a business. I think a lot of people come in, just look at it as sales, just look at it as either a part-time thing or something they're just hopping in and, want the world handed to them or something like that. But you're building a business here, and everything that goes into normally building a business and entrepreneurship is a part of building an insurance business, especially if you're going to build an agency. And so it's just kind of mind-blowing sometimes to look at that, agents don't know their numbers. They don't look at P&Ls. They don't look at how they're investing their time, their resources in their business. They don't look at their team development. They don't treat it as a business when it is a business. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is even coming in from day one, like, I'm building a business here, and what goes into that, and planning this and setting goals, reviewing your numbers, all these sort of things that, if anybody was building any other type of business, it'd be crazy for them to be like, I have no idea what my revenue is. I have no idea what my expenses are. I don't have an accountant. I do my own books sometimes whenever I have time to. Like, that would blow anybody's mind and be like, yeah, no wonder 80% of businesses don't make it past, however many years, is because, it's, you gotta treat it like a business. And I think when you have that mindset, then it is like a continued growth and learning, which leads in that kind of second point of how you treat what we call failure. Like, you're talking about the businesses that fail. And yes, if we look at like failures as like that business may not be continuing anymore, not existing anymore, but in reality, it's only a failure. And I've seen you mention this too, Cody, and a lot of others. It's only a failure if you actually quit and like you stop, you just don't do anything. Like, but if you're learning from the adversity or the challenges you face or something that's gone wrong, I mean, there's going to be a million and one things gone wrong. We've gone through everything that's ever gone wrong. It's how you respond to it, right? Like, what can I learn? What can I put in place? What can I do better next? I'd rather fail quickly and often and learn, and so I can continue growing and just not make the same mistakes twice. And that's what really leads, I think, to that growth. Expecting perfection, never failing or never having a mistake, I think is what leads most people to like crashing when they do have a failure, if they don't know how to respond to it or treat it as a learning opportunity. So
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest thing, is treating it like a business and how you respond to the adversity and challenges, and being able to turn that into growth experiences instead.
So good. So good. Yeah. Progress over perfection, man. So many people need that.
Yeah.
You all said a lot of the same things in different ways, and it's so powerful, both. Thank you. Let's move to this as we got a few more minutes left. I would love for you to share kind of what's next in your world and how those listening can also learn more from you all. So David, why don't we throw it to you this time first? What's next, and how can those listening learn more from the two of you?
Yeah, so what's next? So we have for a while been serving agents within our Closers Click and Legends programs that are really focused on helping, no matter what lines, captive independent, helping them grow, especially through the marketing systems and sales sides there. And then on Legends, the team building and everything as well. But with that, and knowing that we just have a really, really big mission, what we've been wanting to do, and I think we did this kind of backwards as most of the industry. We came in, we have this audience, we built trust, we did training, we did a lot of value within the group, and we did programs to show that we could help agents succeed, grow their agencies, and everything through there. And then really looking for, okay, how can we best set up to help hit our goal of helping 10,000 agents hit 10,000 plus a month of commissions. And we're looking at the agency side. And so that's what's next. We do have an insurance agency, final expense agency. We've started. We already have a bunch of agents coming in, and that we're really looking to help grow and focus on that, and really, especially those that are looking for the insurance industry and how that can achieve that location freedom as well as the financial freedom, of course. Because I mean, just like we've mentioned, our whole team is remote. Elle and I, and one or two team members may work from our office in Florida, but the rest are all over the country. Agents all over the country. This is the world we know, live, and breathe. So if agents want to do that, that's a focus of theirs. That's what we know really well and looking to help them with. And so that's the next thing, is the Den Insurance Group is the name of the agency side. But yeah, we're doing final expense side on that industry, and that's our focus on helping agents on the agency side as well. So that's what's next. We're really excited about it.
I dig it.
I dig it. That's right.
Yes.
I wasn't fully got on board the tagline, even though I've been pushing it for a while.
David loves it. I was like, it might be a little too on the nose for final expense.
That's only if you position it like, call before you dig. But that would be not a perspective I'd probably take with the tagline. But
I wondering out there, those that listen, I wonder how many are going to catch that.
Coming from the construction world, the call before you dig, I definitely know.
Yes. All right, Elle, close us out.
All right. Well, Cody, thank you so much for having us on. We love working with you. We love being in your world. You are doing some amazing things in the industry, and I am so glad that we can look to you for mentorship and coaching. So thank you so much for having us on. And if anybody wants to connect with us, still probably the best place is going to be on Facebook. If you type in the search bar, Marketing for Insurance Agents, our group will come up. It's the one that at the time of recording this, we have 28,000 insurance agents across the country inside that group. But maybe by the time you're listening to this, there might be 30, 40,000. We're just going to keep growing that group because it's such an awesome community. But Marketing for Insurance Agents on Facebook. I'm Elle Denning on Facebook. David is David Denning on Facebook. We are jumpstartgonow.com online if you want to connect with us through our website and learn a little bit more about our team and our programs there. You can also find us at jumpstartgonow.com.
I love it. You're amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, David and Elle Denning, thank you for being on the channel and appreciate it. I love the relationship as well. I love doing stuff with y'all. You are such cool people. And I appreciate y'all being on today. Thank you for being a part of today's interview. Thank you both.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. Really appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you all. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
So I got 3 key questions for you as we kick this thing off right now. Number 1, what is it that you really want? What keeps you up at night? I'm going to read a text.